Hi Elaine, this is Mary. Um, Never mind the screeching in the background, that's my heater in my office. So I'm looking at your file. I'm missing this font, but I think it's just because my Creative Cloud isn't working super well right now. You can see that it's kind of acting weird, but I can see what your card actually looks like when I look at the JPEG, so it's fine. But I'm looking at this and I'm noticing that your bleeds are not quite done right. Your background color is this nice pink color, but we need to extend it over all the way to the bleed line. So that red line is the bleed line, and you did include that in your file because I can see it, but you just didn't put your color of your background all the way to the bleed, which we need to do. And then you have a stroke on this, so, you can always take that off since you don't really need it. Sometimes I like to bring everything in right to the bleed line, just because sometimes I like to be neat. And then one thing I noticed too is like if this color is coming all the way to the edge of your design, which if I push W, you can see the edge of your design is right here. If I push W again, you can see where the bleed goes to. So technically a printer would print this on a bigger piece of paper and then trim it to the actual size of the document. When I push W, you can see the actual size of the business card. So let's zoom in. One thing we would do with this that would fix this a little bit, we would grab the direct selection tool, click on the shape, and then just start kind of dragging this out so that it is outside of the bleed. So when working with bleeds, just remember to, if you have a color that's coming all the way to the edge of your actual, let's push W, actual canvas here, you want to have it come past the bleed line, or to the bleed line at least. See, this is kind of not great because you have a stroke color, so we just need to kind of move that away just from the bleed line so that there's no crossover. So that color comes all the way to the bleed line. And everywhere else, sometimes I go and I creep around on every single edge when I have a bleed, just to make sure everything's looking good. And that looks better on that page, and then on this page, if I'll do Command 0, there's a little bit of a problem here, maybe. Let's push W. Yeah. So we would have to probably just bring this maybe more like that. This one might be a little bit of a problem too because the bleed line's right, the red line there, so we probably would want to bring that maybe down to there. Have another little bit of an issue here, so we just have to bring that down. Same thing goes for over, no, actually you have it there, that's good. This one might be a little tricky, might be best to just kind of drag this anchor point. And I'm using the white arrow tool. You won't be able to do that with the black arrow tool to grab the actual anchor points and move them around. And when they're white, that's when you know that you can actually move them around. If they're not white, that means that, when you go to click and drag it, usually it doesn't work quite as well. You can always push Shift and click to open things up if you need to, but typically you can just grab them with the white arrow and start moving them around. So that looks a little bit cleaner as far as the bleed goes. Everything is lining up nicely. This looks okay. This looks okay. Yep, and go around to all the edges. That all looks good. So that is part of the problem that we had with your document here. And then another thing I noticed was that the business card export PDF file that you did doesn't have the bleeds included. So 3.5 by 2 inches is the size of this, which is the exact size of your business card once trimmed, but without the bleed. With the bleed, it would be a little bit larger, basically 1/4 of an inch on either direction, wide and height, width and height. So if we do a file export, and then I can just save over the old one maybe just by clicking on that to get that same, and then I can make this PDF print, replace. I'm going to replace that file. So all pages, marks and bleeds. This is the important part. You have to check this, use document bleed settings. I don't want any of these other marks. This is left over from a different thing. So, and then just push export, push OK. So if I go back into this file and open this up, this should have, did that work? Yep, see, 3.75 by 2.5 now. So this one actually has the bleeds included, whereas the ones you gave me didn't. So that did end up affecting your grade just a teensy bit, but overall you did really well, and happy to have you next semester. Either one of those classes I think you would enjoy. It's kind of up to you what you're interested in as far as next semester goes. I did send an email, so anyway, we'll talk to you later. Have a good holiday season.